Hello there. Thank you so much for coming to my little VMOL Twins guide. I really appreciate having you here. It's always good to see you. Thank you so much. I just wanted to go over how our run went. We did VMOL Twins. Well, we did the whole trial, but this is the twins, and the reason I wanted to go over it is because there are a lot of guides out there on how to do this. But I wanted to go over what we do. I wanted to go over what we could do better, and I wanted to go over just in general little tips and things that I've learned myself, and maybe they'll be helpful to someone. I'm not sure. Well, we can find out at the end. You can let me know if you liked it. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want to listen to me talk because I listen to my voice a little bit on recordings and I sound like I'm like 4 years old. And it sounds like I have a lisp or something. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so the twins. Whenever people talk about VMOL, they roll their eyes and they say, oh God, the twins. The only people who do that are people who don't understand the mechanics. Once you understand the mechanics, and I should say also once you're in a group that understands the mechanics, it's super easy, but it's not one of those ones that you're going to want to pug because you will likely end up in a group with people who are brand new. And inevitably, when people are brand new to this, they're going to blow people up. They're going to die. That's just what happens. There's just a learning curve with this trial and with this boss, and that's all there is to it. If you're at the stage right now where you are blowing people up and you don't understand the twins, that's fine. You'll learn it, and it'll become easy. You just have to learn. It's nothing to be ashamed about. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. So, how do you do the twins? Well, I'll show you. Right now you can see we are in two separate groups. We have Skinrai, who has the light-colored head, and we have Vashai, who has the blue-colored head. So we are in two separate groups. The reason we are doing this is because the closest you are, or the closest someone is to the boss. Wait, that didn't make sense. Okay, let me rephrase. You will be assigned a head color based on which boss you are close to. So we are all huddled close to Skinrise so that we can get a yellow-colored head, and everyone in the other group is huddled close to Vashai so they can get a blue-colored head. Each group has one tank, one healer on each side. Very important, okay? Okay, so we're huddled and we all got head colors. You can see our group has yellow. Whoa. Hold on. Don't even worry about it. All right, as you can see, our group has a yellow colored head with the yellow boss, other group blue colored head with blue boss. The tanks now are going to swap bosses because we always want to be attacking a boss of a different head color. Okay? Okay. So the tanks are going to swap the bosses. I guess you could if you wanted to be just hectic. The groups could switch, but that is crazy. Don't do that. Just let the tank swap the bosses. You always want to be attacking the boss of the opposite head color, so that's what we're doing. And the reason we are on opposite ends of each other is because if you get too close to somebody with the same head color as you will kill them. So the main things you need to watch for in the twins are attacking the boss of the opposite head color, staying in your group of the same head color, and don't go near anyone with a different head color because you will kill them. That's the big thing in this. That's why everyone is always just so hectic here, because you could kill someone if you go too close to them. So we're just staying in our group. We're staying safe. Vashai is going to drop a negate bubble here. The tank just has to get out of that very easily and drop the bubble close to the wall. If you drop the bubble in the middle, then it's just in everyone's way and people have to avoid it. So the tanks just drop it along the edge of the wall. And as you can see, Solar is just standing right outside the bubble. You don't need to go too far because the boss is going to keep dropping these bubbles. So you want to keep them as contained as possible. Okay, conversions. You will see it said conversion imminent. And I have a little blue circle around my feet. Princess has a little blue circle around her feet, and Sam, I think somewhere, has a little blue circle around his feet. Yes, right here. You can't see where I'm pointing, but I am pointing there. And then the other group, you can still kind of see in the corner, there's 3 people there who have yellow circles around their feet. Conversions mean that 3 people in each group are going to swap head colors, which means we have to swap groups. That's all you do. And to swap groups, you are going to go clockwise to the other group. The reason you do this is because you'll blow someone up if you run into an opposite head color person, and you don't want to do that. So we go clockwise so that we don't hit each other, and you will see that right now. All 3 of us, Sam, Princess, and I, are running over to the other group because we are turning blue. And Ghetto, Goron, and Foe are all running clockwise to our group that we were in before because they all have yellow heads now. And we want to stay in our groups. Easy. We just swap groups. That's all there is to it. Conversions are easy peasy. The only reason conversions get a little bit hectic is because it happens during all the other mechanics. There can be, ads everywhere, negate bubbles. People can be getting stunned. You might not be able to see. You might not get the prompt. It might glitch. You might not see the little circle on your feet. So a big thing that I have learned myself is that if you're not sure if you are converting, if you don't know, if you can't really see your circle, you didn't get the text prompt, you're confused, it's okay. Just step back out of your group by yourself and just take a second and just wait a minute. If you see that 3 people from your group have already left and your head's the same color as the group, then you didn't get conversions. You can stay in your group. If you're standing there and you see that only 2 people from your group have left and suddenly you have a different head color, that means you're converting. You need to get to the other group and stay away from your team that you were in before because you don't want to blow them up. So when in doubt, just take a step back. That's the biggest thing I've learned. Take a step back, take a second, look for your group that has the same head color as you, and just go to them. That's all you need to do. So this is prayer phase. So prayer phase is when the boss, both of the bosses will teleport to either side of the room in front of those doors. You need to go to the boss that is the opposite head color as you. Don't be tempted to go to the same one. Sometimes in those hectic moments, you forget what you're doing. Just watch your team. Remember that you always want to be around the boss with the different head color. Okay? So we all ran to the boss. Luckily, ours was right beside us, so we just went very quickly over to this boss. You can see now that Dragon Knight, who's the tank, is leaving. The reason for this is that Dragon Knight is going to their original boss. They are going to taunt this boss here and then run to the other side. And the tank on the other side is taunting their boss and running over here. The reason that is happening is because the tanks need to swap bosses, but they also need to be assigned the correct head color. So by Dragon Knight leaving and going over to the other side, he's going to get assigned the head color of the other boss. And by Solar, the other tank running over here and taunting their boss, they're going to be assigned the correct head color of our boss. So you'll see Solar's coming over here. They're assigned the correct head color. And their boss is coming over here. And Dragon Knight's boss is going over there. That is something that confuses a lot of people. So if you're a new tank and you are learning that and it's confusing, don't worry about it. You will completely understand it soon. The big thing is during the phase when no one has a head color, which is when they do their prayer phase and there's a little explosion. No one has a head color. That is your time to move. That's your time to taunt your existing boss and go to the other side and bring them over there. That's when you will be assigned the correct head color on the other side, and the other tank will do the same. So now we have our correct bosses. And again, we also have to watch out for ads. So we should always be pulling in the ads of the opposite head color. As you can see, that was the wrong ad. That ad's going back over there. We did have a couple of deaths. I didn't actually see what happened, so I'm not sure. Also, something that I would like to mention is that if you are healing this trial and you're at the twins, you need to call out if you have conversions. If you're a DPS, you don't have to call it out. If you are a healer, you need to call it out so that the other healer knows if you are converting. The reason this is because you can see right now, Idaeezy and Idaeezy is the other healer, we both had conversions and we both went to the same group. So we have been in the same group together. If that happens and you have two healers in the same group, one healer needs to heal the other group. So as you can see, she is not facing our group, she's facing the other group. She has been facing them the whole time and healing them from here. She doesn't go up to them because she would kill them. She stays a safe distance away but still heals the other group. But now, as you can see, I'm converting. I have a little blue circle around my feet. I'm about to convert to the other group, which means she doesn't need to heal that group anymore. She can just heal her own group, and I'm going over to the other side. Another thing, we have a couple of deaths here, which is great. That's why I wanted to make the guide, because it's very helpful to see what to do when things go wrong, and why things happen. So we have people who have died here. You can see that they have little glowing heads. Misagi and Brai both have yellow heads, and we all have blue heads. That means that they're converting. Even if you are a dead body, you can still get conversions. So it's very important that we res them, but they don't get up yet. They wait for us to move away from them so they can safely res without exploding us, and then they will go to the other team. Another thing I also wanted to show, as you can see here, the boss is stunning the tank. They're stunning the tank because they're not getting bashed. And you can see that until they got bashed, the tank was stunned. It's very important to interrupt. Of course, the reason that was happening is because we had people down, but that would have been a good time to stop resing and instead interrupt the boss, because the tank can't do anything. The tank is just helpless and needs someone to interrupt. So that's just a good thing to note. If you see the yellow boss or any of the yellow ads beaming somebody, make sure you interrupt them, please. So as you can see, Ghetto and Foe are both resing, but they're not going to get up yet. We are getting away from them a safe distance, then they can get up and go to their side. It's prayer phase already. Luckily, we are right beside our boss, so we are staying here. Again, after the explosion, you will see that we lose our head colors, and you will see our tank is taken off because they need that time to taunt this current boss, Skinrai, and go to the other side. Solar is taunting Vashai and running over here. And now we are in our groups, and the tanks are getting their boss that they had already taunted. They're coming over. And that is what you need to repeat. The whole fight is just like this. So as you can see now, it gets a little tricky. There's a lot of ads, there's a lot of AoEs, there's a lot of things happening. This is where groups can sometimes fall apart. So you just have to really take it slow. It's not easy sometimes to relax during these situations, but just try to take a second. If you get confused, it's fine to just stop and look around. That's totally fine. One thing that we need to do is we need to watch their health. because we need to try to kill these bosses around the same time. If one boss dies too quickly and the other one has a lot of health and we can't kill them within a few seconds, then they're going to go into a prayer phase by themselves, which is going to kill everybody. Also, there's going to be a ton of ads when one of them goes down. So we need to try to kill them around the same time. So throughout the fight, you'll hear the tanks, sometimes the DPS, different people just yelling out, this boss has this much health, this boss has this much health. And it's up to the groups to think about how much DPS they're doing and maybe pull back on one boss and maybe extra burn on another boss. So here there's conversions. As you can see, we have another death. So we're going to have another res situation. You'll see that I'm going over here and the other healer was, you can see Idaezy is converting and going to the other group. So that means that both healers, again, are still on separate groups. So we don't have to have another healer healing the other group. We're both in different groups. I think what happened here again is another stun. I think that's why the tank went down, because no one was there to interrupt. And there's also, I don't know if you can actually see what happened to the tank. Yes, so you can see a beam, and I don't believe that was interrupted. I think that's why the tank went down. Yes, so just be aware. I know it's very hard, but please try to pay attention to the interrupts. So as you can see on the right, Bri is being rezzed, but they're not getting up yet because they care about us and they don't want to explode us. So instead of getting up, they're waiting. And then now that we are running away, they know it's safe to get up. And they're able to join their group. Another thing to mention is that during prayer phase, you have to run. During prayer phase, you have to book it to the boss of the opposite head color. In the middle, you'll see this little line of candles, and you'll see Ghetto wasn't quite over the line. That's why they died. So just be aware. During prayer phase, drop everything you're doing and just get to the boss of the opposite head color as quickly as possible. You want to be on the other side of those candles. It's not a big deal. That's just what happens when you're learning. And even sometimes when you're not learning and you already know what to do, sometimes you just can't quite make it for whatever reason. And you'll also see there's someone on the other side too who didn't get over the candles. They're so close, but again, just try to book it as quickly as possible to your boss of the opposite head color. Our bosses are getting pretty low on health, so we need to be careful that we're burning them similar amounts so that one doesn't die too quickly. And there's more ads, so there are a ton of ads coming out. That's why if you have really good burn, you just burn the bosses as quickly as possible. The ads aren't as big of a deal, but you still have to focus the ads. It's not good to have this many ads out, especially at the end. So this is where it does get quite hectic and people really need to focus. And just remember, you can still have conversions during this time. You can see there's some people beaming that had to be interrupted. And sometimes people, the ads can be standing on the opposite end of the candles, beaming the other team, and that's what happened. So even if you're on the other team that is not fighting the yellow-headed boss, make sure that you're still getting those interrupts whenever you see it. Don't leave it for someone else to do. Doesn't matter what role you are, try to get the interrupts. We have conversions, so we have the people leaving. So you can see that Ghetto was converting but didn't leave the group fast enough, so they killed Samuelson. This is not to call you out, Ghetto. This is just for learning. So just be aware, if you are converting, get out of the group as soon as possible. Don't hang around. Our bosses are almost dead, so we are going to try to focus them and just kill them. We want to kill them before prayer phase happens. It's not a good idea to kill them during prayer phase. We just need to kill Bashai. We didn't res because of just a risk of them coming back and being an opposite head color and blowing us up. So we just decided to burn. If we were not so close to the end of the fight, we would have rezzed them. But we decided to just leave them and burn. And that is the whole fight. So I hope that was helpful. To summarize, basically, you want to never go up to somebody of a different head color ever. You want to make sure that you are going clockwise when you're doing conversions so that you don't hit anybody else. During prayer phase, you want to just get the heck over to your boss of a different head color as soon as possible. And you want to go counterclockwise. If you are converting, you want the wall to be your left. If you are prayer phase, you want the wall to be at your right. Also, make sure we are interrupting the beams. Interrupt the beams for the ads and for the boss, all the yellow ads and yellow boss. If you are a tank, you want to make sure that during that phase where nobody has a head color, that you are going to the other side and you are bringing your existing boss with you over there so that you can get the right head color. That's the whole fight. It's not as confusing as it seems at first. I hope this was helpful, and I'm just really proud of my group because so many people are doing this for the first time or they're not familiar. This is some people's second time, and we have people who are learning. And everyone did great, and we cleared it, and we did the whole trial in under 2 hours. And anyone can do this. Don't let it intimidate you. All it takes is some repetition and some practice. Okay, bye. I love you.